See how it plays out for you, Dragon. I mean, that's all you can ever do when these two are up against each other. They're both just so very good. In the bottom right-hand side is tournament life on the line from Team Liquid, the red Terran player. Can he do it? Can he tie us up for an ace match? It's Clem.
And up in the top left-hand side of the map, the blue Zerg player sitting up 2-1 and is not looking to stop anytime soon. He is Team Clash's Reynor. Oh, man. So, I mean, Wardy, how do you feel about doing another one of those, maybe not exactly the same type of attack as like that proxy factoried or hidden factory, not even really proxied, with a Blue Flame Hellion build? How do you feel like doing something? Well, I want to say doing something like that again. We got the drone scatting around for proxies, so maybe a good thing that Clem did not decide to go for the proxy racks.
Yeah, Clem's not much of a proxy raxer, is he? I feel like
that's a good point.
Like, the only times he's ever really proxy raxed Reynor is when he's had to play him at, like, the end of, like, a super long day or, like, a super long event, and it's like...
I just want to be done.
It's not, like, a best of 3, which is as meaningful as some of the other matches they play, and it's like, he usually, like, plays a really, like, cool game 1, and if he loses, he'll be like, right, I'm just gonna proxy rax and see if I can, like, wrap it up or, like, tie it up, you know?
I gotta go to bed,
Yeah, he doesn't really bring it out at all in, like, these longer series, but the thing is, like, it's obviously still a threat that Reynor thinks is apparent because he's still drone scouts for it, right? So until Reynor isn't drone scouting for it, I don't mind Clem not adding it to his arsenal. Like, yeah, it's nice to make your opponent think about it, but at the end of the day, Reynor's still thinking about it without Clem ever doing it. So I don't mind that.
No, I think it's a really good way of putting it. Like, the big advantage of mixing it in isn't just the potential to insta-kill them, it's the lost mining time. It's the fact that it is taking up space in their brain and that they're worrying about it or thinking about it. But eventually we do end up seeing that drone make its way over to that third base. It looks like Reynor is going to be able to get that down safely without the Reaper harassing it. Look, for the most part, Clem has basically just gone straight over to the natural and started poking and prodding. He doesn't really seem very keen on trying to delay the hatchery itself going down very often.
Yep, as a factory about to complete. Second gas is up. I see that starboard for you, Dragon. The thing is, I think Clem just goes back to his bread and butter, which is just, you know, a pretty quick stim, a Viking to clean out Overlords or a Liberator to harass. It's a good lib map, right? You can really, wherever the lib is on the top side, you can either go between the main and the natural, you can go between the natural and the third. You know, there's a lot of dead airspace, so I really don't mind the Liberator as a choice here. And that is just one of, like, I kind of call it the Clem build. Well, he didn't really pioneer the build, he just used it so much, like, it's the one he always goes back to. So to me, it's always, like, Clem's favorite build, and, you know, that has a bit of meaning, so... There's the Liberator, expecting just a tech lab with this and stim, unless he wants to go really kind of mess it up and go for like an armory and hellbats, but I just don't think that's very Clem, because I think he just knows even if you catch Reynor off guard with something like that, you have to still do so much damage to actually come out ahead, because Reynor's so good at just getting back into the game from those situations.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough spot if it gets into one of those positions where he is going to have to try and come back. But, well, Liberator is going to be finishing up soon. It's just the light pokes and prods forward. Got to zoom in on the Overlord. Okay, there's a third base going on up for Clem, and it looks like the Overlord in the main got sniped off. I assume that he actually got the scat out on that, though, over at the natural. No, he didn't actually scat the natural at all, but probably it's a pretty normal thing usually, right?
There's nothing to really see right in the natural.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's like it's mining. Like, I think the thing is you already see as well the fact that there's a tech lab on the racks, for example, and that just sort of means it's not an armory because your gas is so tight as the Terran player. It's tough to afford that tech lab and an armory and so on. And yeah, I think he's fine. I think he knows what this is. He's played against Clem enough to kind of be familiar with this build, and as Clem, you can see already he puts the Liberator kind of behind the bases, so you can swap between them quite easily. And obviously he's already looking for that lost mine time. We talked a lot about this back in the earliest game. Golden Wall, was it, when he was using this Liberator?
Yep.
You know, he'll only take a few shots on this Lib every time, and this one was maybe a bit of a bad siege up, so he'll take a few more shots there, but he'll generally now probably try and get that Lib away. He actually is going to bring it back up, but it's stuck in a corner. Oh, that's not very Clem-like. Oh, but this is nice. He's actually got these Hellions in, and the Ling's in a weird spot to fight it. Oh, the drones are going to come to continue the block. Don't tell me he doesn't get a drone kill.
Are you kidding me, Reynor? Are you kidding me? Not even one? That was the sickest Ling wall. Of course, 17 Lings going down for that, but that actually could have been devastating. That could have been the big damage that Clem was looking for, and just completely gets shut down by the repeated walling off of those Lings and even the drones.
Yep, well microed. Reynor dodged a bullet there, because if those Lings take one worse shot and you get in with those Hellions, the Queen's out of position. You're losing like 10 plus workers, right? And then it's good for Clem. Now it's obviously not so good for Clem. We open up that third base to a counterattack because you don't have as many Hellions to defend it. And you can see Reynor on the player cam. Love these player cams, by the way. You get so much emotion from these guys when they're playing from home. And Reynor really gave that shake the head. He was like, whew, that was like a, that was a close moment. He was like, that, this game didn't just end right there, which is obviously very good to know and to have happen.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, we do finally have 1-1 finishing up over there for Reynor, and it's going to be a little bit further ahead of Clem's 1-1, so it's going to be that nice situation for a Zerg player that they really get to be like, oh yes, I have an upgrade advantage going into a lot of these early kind of skirmishes, and going to be finishing up just before these two medevacs actually manage to make their way across the map, I think.
Yep, as Queen's already coming to intercept, so no bueno there. Just not going to find anything at all. I mean, even if you're just looking for creep spread, right? That's unfortunate because now creep's coming out in so many different ways. You need to slow down some of it because you need to carve a pathway to at least do some kind of push somewhere. You can't just do nothing all game. Yeah, this is nice. He actually gets a lot of Lings for free to start this off. That can be actually kind of meaningful because you kill off a lot of Lings now and you never know when the next medevac show up if maybe there's just not enough Lings anymore. As Reynor, most important to note, hide them down for your dragon, so we are probably going to see that lurker style all over again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that actually plays out. Now, as these Marines are poking on forward, I'm keeping an eye on that mini-map to see if that Liberator starts to move on in. And the Liberator is actually starting to move over toward that natural in the main again, as this is sort of, again, Clem's bread and butter is just that multi-prong harassment. Denies a little bit of mine time. The double spore is going to be able to do a lot of damage to that Liberator, and it does go down at the very last shot.
I was thinking it isn't double spore overkill, but it actually is the way to kind of beat someone who unsieges their Lib so quickly sometimes.
Yeah,
that was that was nice because it's very rare you see a Liberator of Clem going down like that. So the double spore move was absolutely worth it. But don't mind drop I like this, making Reynor look elsewhere and obviously costing him a couple of drones. It's the bailing drop you have to deal with as well, though. And if you're microing elsewhere, you've got to focus back at home because you cannot lose 10 workers right now. It's Clem. Oh no.
Oh, that's the maximum damage too. You can see as he just doesn't unload all of them immediately. He actually unloads them one by one. Down. Oh, this game.
Yeah, this is the thing as well, right? As well, this is nice. This is something, right? These Widow Mines are still here. Reynor got to deal with this, so that's good. Hey, that's good damage. That's like fighting back in this game all of a sudden. Okay, because losing 10 workers, right? There's a Terran. It's avoidable. And on top of losing 10 workers, he lost the drop on the top right that otherwise he would have kept alive. So it's really a double whammy. So at least getting some of the workers in return helps you out just that little bit. If Clem can fight now, at least just before the lurkers are up, it's still going to be difficult. It still ain't easy, especially because he's got to go down a ramp into a concave, and he's got a counterattack running across the map at him as well.
The depot is down, but it doesn't look like Reynor's actually going to commit to that as he ends up pulling back, seeing a handful of Marines there. Now we end up having the Marines. Oh my god, Bane Speed, where is it?
It's not here for your dragons in the production tab, so that's something I just assumed was already up, but no, it's only halfway done. So suddenly Reynor, he's taking a really horrible fight while the Ling's coming in. I feel like these Widow Mines might want to like unburrow again. Yeah, lift up and get out before the Widow Mines cause friendly fire. Clem is pushed back. Reynor dodges a bullet himself because without Bane Speed, that was a terrifying moment. He needed those Lings, otherwise those Hydras are going to go bye-bye. And then there's no lurkers on the map, and then you're playing a very difficult mid-game.
My god, I think we actually had a situation where the lurker den started before Bane Speed, which goes to show you that it was very likely just Reynor also not realizing he didn't have it, but
well didn't kind of earlier.
That's true. I guess he didn't have that much aggression going forward that the Queens couldn't handle.
Yeah, like obviously it's a mistake to forget it, but like one of the things that reminds you earlier is like usually there's Terran pushes and you're like, oh, I'll get a few Banes, and you're like, oh yeah, Bane speed or something, right? But there's just been nothing like that. This was the first real push of Clem that was like, oh my god, I gotta like have, you know, stuff ready. And obviously he realized it a bit before then, so now he's got it, so it's not going to be an issue a second time around. I do wonder if it's giving Clem a bit of momentum though, going up the left side, drop on the right, some Widowmine still active here and there. We saw how dangerous they could be previously.
Yeah, good rotation there from Reynor. He actually anticipates the angle that this army is going to be coming in from. Has already moved his lurkers over here and is ready in a defensive posture. Yeah, no Banelings, and the lurkers are they're defending the ramp. They're not so much actually defending the hatchery that much.
Yeah, what's in the top right defensively, by the way? It's okay, there is 2 lurkers. Just checking what Clem had to run away from there, because obviously that was somewhere he was looking to press into. He's got tanks and ranger lurkers. Remember those lurkers that's a few seconds away from seismic spines? He's actually gone double lurker den to get double upgrades to get those lurkers upgraded fully ASAP. So it's going to get him there. And now Clem's going to have to deal with all those lurker upgrades. The Widowmine's over here trying to come in from the other side. As the Marines trying to fight a game. But it's a dangerous game against lurkers because you just take so much splash so quickly.
Yeah, you really have to spray everything out. Oh, snacking the Viper, at least some damage, but here we go. Looks like Reynor's trying to bust on through. Gets, I think, the siege tanks that were further back there. Only the Widowmines are going to be left behind, and they might be able to get 1 or 2 shots off left. All right, softens up some of the lurkers, but get cleaned up in the end. Clem really wanted to get some damage on one of these 2 sides, and doesn't find it on either. In fact, takes a lot of damage himself now.
Man, Clem's player camera is telling you everything right now. He knows the game's over, I think, because he's just like sat there talking to himself. He gets a good surround on the lurkers, though. The problem is it's just so expensive still for him to come back from this. It's a good fight that might very well keep him in it for a while. Maybe he's fighting once again. Maybe that was a step too far from Reynor. Clem has to strike now, though. While there's only 2 lurkers on the map, they should be the ones in the upper right-hand side. That should be his opportunity. Maybe do something, and maybe he can be a little bit more positive on his own outset in this game now.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be able to step up a few drones in the hatchery over here, but there's 107 drones, even after he's killed off a lot of these. Blinding Cloud comes down, doesn't actually hit all that much, but there's just not that much bile left over. Clem is starting to get cleaned up a little bit with these lings, and he's getting forced back. The hatchery didn't even go down, Wardy.
The problem is you got to split back from the lurkers, and in doing that, it gives the lings that free damage time and that wraparound time, right? And
yeah,
the lings just kind of feel like they're always attacking. And the other thing is, like, you've got to have so many marauders against the lurkers, and then the marauders actually just don't clean up lings very well either. So while the marauders are surviving the lurker shots, then they're the units that don't really do the damage output you need to the zerglings. So it's a little bit unfortunate. I mean, for a moment or two, it felt hopeful for Clem, but now we've got Reynor pushing in again. Let's see how this goes for him as he forces Clem back. I mean, I feel like he's chasing quite far the reach of his lurkers, so Clem is... he's doing okay, but then the lurkers burrow, and then, you know, that's when things start dying once more. And Reynor, he looks really good in this series, man. He looks like the kind of player that could win it all. He's just playing fantastic Starcraft 2. I think you've got to go out there and say it, right? Like, he's played an amazing series, and right now he's marching across the map to maybe just put an end to it already, because Clem's really not got much left over anymore.
Extremely good play here from Reynor. Clem is really just trying to make the most of what he can, because he's still got equal army supply, but at the end of the day, it's just so tough for him to fight this kind of army. Gets surrounded by the lings, so the lurkers clean up the rest. Lurkers are a little bit more exposed for a moment, but remember, Reynor can replace this army. Clem cannot, as he drops further and further in supply and comes to terms with the fact that he is in fact not yet amongst the players like Reynor and Sterile. He is going to get knocked down here, but he made an incredible run this DreamHack and really showcased why he is still one of those top talents to look out for.
Man, he was... honestly, I feel like so many of these games have been so close as well, right? Like, like in the end, no, like Reynor's looked dominant, but Clem's had like so many like moments and stuff. This game was probably maybe the most convincing from Reynor, because I feel like Clem earlier using those Hellenes, etc. Then he kind of lost a lot of his momentum compared to in the previous games. He really controlled a lot more, but it's been a great run from Clem. By being a bit doom and gloom, but the thing is a 6 supply difference right now. Lings and Hyde is pushing up this ramp. Clem is just losing a little bit all the time. Reynor's got money in the bank, 97 workers to build up off of, and well, he's on top of a base of Clem that just doesn't really have any protection to make work. He's losing Widow Mines before they can even fire, and that's just an added little deficit as An orbital command goes down. Reynor will keep on pushing in. Clem tries to hold, hoping he can somehow trade well enough. Reynor maybe steps too far forward, but it's just not happening. There's Hydra stepping in Fear Dragon, and Reynor is going to the grand finals of the season finals.
Giving the little fist pump, giving the cheeky smile there. Reynor is feeling it, and he knows he did earn himself a hard-fought victory versus Clem, looking extremely